my pillow. And I'm like, well, stop coming to my room. What do you want from me? So when she heard me say that, she's like, no, never mind, I'm not going to do that.
Like, no, keep on. She's like, you're expecting third graders to do something that a grown-up can't do?
And it's a me thing, and it's become a selfish agenda versus, okay, this is what I have to do to make America great. You know?
Oh, I hate that so much.
I love using it because I hate it.
I hate that saying so much.
Welcome everyone to a daytime episode of Calling All Dads. We're finally out of the darkness.
Yeah.
And into the light. This is weird. It's weird.
I actually don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I feel like
right now.
I feel like I'm in my thoughts more at night. But we're here.
We're here.
Daytime. And it's on a Saturday.
Yeah, and it's on Saturday. We actually just finished our fantasy football draft. Yeah. I'm like 95% sure that Dom's gonna win it again because that's what happens every year. But whatever.
I'm kind of good at it.
Just a little. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a great week for a lot of people, I hope. It's been a very interesting week.
The weather's been better.
The weather has been better.
Haven't been crankier or as cranky.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And Matthew's actually been sleeping now, so I think it is back to kind of normal.
Okay, well, the girls have gotten better sleeping. At least Samara has.
Okay.
Mila's still just randomly waking up. I haven't exactly put a finger on it yet, but now Samara's like, she's an adult because she's waking up super early. I kid you not, like sometimes 5 a.m., 6 a.m., like up, ready, because like I explained before, she'll normally cling her jail cell. And we know she's up, and then I will grab her and she'll come to bed. So she's been doing that, I'd say for the past 3 weeks, maybe a month, and sleeping with her in my bed. I mean, again, queen size, it's still not that comfortable. Yeah. She's just. So now what I've been doing, at least for the last 2 weeks, we let her sleep to bed. She comes up, I wake up, I send her to the bed, and I take her bed on the floor. The best thing I've ever thought of doing. So, yeah, I'll sleep in her bed. And normally when I sleep, because of my back and everything, I have like the pillow in a certain way, so I fold my pillow in half so that it's big, and then I can put my arm up around it, so I'm like, and that just helps me sleep and kind of bounce on my back. So I do that to her pillow when I sleep in her bed. And of course, when she goes to her room, she's like, "Daddy, stop doing this to my pillow." And I'm like, "Well, stop coming to my room. What do you want from me?" So when she heard me say that, she's like, "No, never mind. I'm not going to do that."
Like, no, I'll keep holding the pillow. It's okay.
But, yeah, I think other than that, it's better. It feels better.
It feels better, yeah, absolutely. The other day we were outside with Matthew, and like he was playing his like little kiddie pool thing that we set up for him, and I realized it then. I'm like, it's hot, but it's not that unbearable humidity where it's like, yo, we gotta go back inside. No, it was more. Yeah, it was more like.
You didn't get that feeling in your chest and that anxiety.
As soon as I opened the door, I'm like, maybe we could do this. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I don't want to go outside, but I mean,
I never want to go outside now. But you know,
nice.
It's for him, I guess. It tires him out. It helps him sleep through the night.
So
that's always good.
That's what we have to kind of do because we don't have a backyard per se, or at least not a big one where they can run around.
Yeah.
So we kind of hope they do that at my in-laws' house
and get that energy out. Yeah.
But yeah, I think having them out in the sun.
Oh yeah.
Wears them out. So.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was going to ask you actually, so Matthew, we put sunblock on him, sunscreen, the hat, the full.
I think that stuff works.
Or
maybe. Well, he didn't get burned. I think that's the point. You're supposed to get tan, but I don't think you're supposed to get burned. I don't.
Yeah, like
read too much into it, but yeah, I don't think it's anti-tan.
Yeah, because dude, we put it on him, and I'm like, you're still coming back with a tan. Like that defeats the purpose of all this. Like. And it's not like we leave it like a little like no. Like,
you smother him.
Like you can tell that it's like it's on his skin. Like everybody be like, "Yo, what's up with him?" I'm like, "Yo,
why is he whiter than he normally is?" Yeah, I thought the same thing for a while. Same thing with the girls. I was like, they're still, but I think it's supposed to prevent your skin from burning or being damaged more so than it is to prevent you from being tanned.
Yeah, that would make more sense because it's like that does not stop the sun.
Yeah, so it's suntan lotion.
But that's what I'm like. Isn't it supposed to stop?
Fox, I mean, even the name alone, honestly,
it's kind of.
it kind of like portrays the opposite anyways.
Yeah.
Because suntan, like you're putting it on to get a tan.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who asked the wives? See what they say. I normally don't care. I just come right outside.
It's like, hey,
Hit me. Okay. So as long as I don't burn, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't really burn unless I'm out there for like I want to say like over 4 hours, 5 hours, and like it's
yeah,
gotta
4
be
hours, 5 hours is
yeah.
a lot in general. I don't like being outside that long.
Not me either, but I mean, as long as he
not
enjoys
anymore.
it, we just tough it out. There was one day Kathy was like, "Oh, you know what? Like, I just want to go inside. I just want to go inside." I'm like, "He's having a good time. Like, let's just tough it out, see what happens."
Yeah, but you got the umbrella. You got the stuff there. You got the umbrella.
Yeah.
That pool's dope. I want to go on it. Honestly,
he never wants to come out. I can tell you that.
Dude, I know if the girls were here, they'd be like, "Oh my god!" It would be a wrap.
But it would be good because you know what? Like honestly, I don't want to get into it because I want to stay out of the sun. So usually what we do is we put the the umbrella legit like right over it, so that we could sit underneath the umbrella and like still be close to him. So
that was good because you get into the water, and then I would want the sun. I'd be more inviting of the sun if I was dry.
You know, just like
I gotta get an adult size version of that. That's dope.
Yeah, man. But another good week. You know, nothing too crazy. Talked to my mom. Got a nice little FaceTime session. Saw my nephews. That was cool.
What else is happening in the world? Sports is back.
Sports is back.
I know we don't normally talk about sports, but it's back.
But it is back. Hey, it's good. Something to watch.
NBA started. We had our fantasy football draft, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think is baseball?
Baseball's still going. Yeah.
Wait,
it started recently. I think they cut down the games though.
Oh yeah, well thankfully because that was
I know,
way too much anyway.
Too much, yeah. I think the games are like under 100 now, or like right
I
around
think
100.
did it have, what's 182 divided by 2?
Yeah, 91.
91, yeah. So
it's like 90 games basically.
I mean that's good. I mean I think I would watch more now because
it's less.
Yeah, it's less. It's less nonsense. Honestly, like the beginning of the game, like unless you watch the beginning because it's opening season, you want to see how teams are starting off, and then somewhere in the middle, I kind of just stopped watching because I'm not a big baseball fan to begin with. But I always watch during the playoffs too. Like
yeah, no playoffs. I like once October always rolls around. That's usually when the playoffs start. Boom. As soon as the playoffs come, it's like no, I'll watch every game now. Like then I can focus a little bit more. But again, if you're watching
182 games, like if you watch your team play throughout the year, I mean even the NBA, I still take breaks in between, because I can't watch 82
football,
games.
I feel is like that perfect schedule
16.
where it's like
and it's one day or every other day. Well, it's like Monday, Thursday,
Sunday, Monday.
Yeah,
right. But I can manage that because like you only get one game on Thursday unless it's the
like
Thanksgiving and Christmas breaks. Then you get the majority of the games on Sunday, and then you have one game on Monday. So I think that's actually like you can manage it.
Yeah, and it's only 16 weeks.
Yeah,
16 weeks again is a long time. It's like
I mean, but if you think about it, it's like would you rather do 16 games, 17 games, whatever, and or do 182?
Definitely not 182.
I'm not doing 182.
I don't have the tolerance for it.
No.
I can't.
Even when I was a kid, I couldn't watch all 182 games. And my dad was like a big baseball fanatic.
It's just unnecessary.
It really is. Like I'm grateful that it's on. Obviously, whatever. It's nice to watch like every now and then. But it's like
not my cup of tea.
182 games.
Now what? I don't know if I can. I don't know. One, I don't know if that'd even be allowed legally. But 182 game football season.
No, come on.
I mean, that would lead to death most likely. But
like that'd be every player gets injured every year. You wouldn't be able to make it. Your body would physically would need a break. Like again, football's not like baseball or basketball where it's like less contact, more skill. Like football is the bigger combination of ultimate contact outside of boxing or UFC stuff like that.
What if you did?
Oh god.
2-quarter games.
Still intense, but then
it'd be super intense because every play will count.
Yeah.
I mean, every play already sort of kind of counts in the 2020 hindsight.
You can have a bad half and then rebound in the second.
Rebound, but now you can only have a bad quarter. I think they played 12 minutes. So yeah, games will be over one quicker.
That would not. No.
There'd be so many more explosive plays because you have to break out the playbook right away.
Right away. It wouldn't be like, oh, let's feel it out.
Hear me out, NFL. Hear me out. And maybe you can do a whole bunch. That's actually how remember we were talking about the bubble situation?
Yeah.
Maybe do something like that where you can make you can make the league like a 1 day thing because every game is like only 2 quarters,
Ooh.
and then everybody will be there.
But again, like you'd have to find a massive location. Think about how many players on a roster. What,
50 something,
50
53,
something, 53.
52, 53.
So 53. Then you have the coaching staff. Then you have the player personnel. Then you have, the medical teams. Then you have it's so many people that it's like just for one team you're over 150 or around 150. Let's just say 120
Yeah,
per team. So then now you have 32 teams at 120. That's you know what I mean. Like that's a lot. Like
they got money.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Um,
I think that it works out best to do it like that because you keep everybody like secluded from going
yeah,
out.
not, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be in the
Unless you're
postseason.
Williams.
We just wasted our time technically. And drafted for no reason because there's gonna be no season.
Well, look, I mean, again, I'm not 100% sure that the season's even going to finish, to be honest. Because all it takes is one player to get another player sick on another team, and then that player gets his teammate sick, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I hope that the season carries on and they make it, I hope so.
Yeah, it depends on the temperature of the situation. And again, it's during football's like literally in the worst place because it's during like the flu season
Yeah.
where people are inevitably
Gonna get
sick.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we'll see what happens. But speaking of
Uh-oh.
school situation, so
Oh.
it came up again this week, and we decided to bring them back. I think we spoke to the daycare. I think they're only taking 5 kids,
Okay,
Which-
see, but they're controlling it.
which is good. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the count was before, but they're taking 5 kids, and 2 of those kids are mine. So technically 3 other kids. They're taking like 5 other like infant kids, but they're gonna. I guess the plan is to stay on the opposite side. So I was like, okay, we'll give it a try because again, like I mentioned, the big concern of mine was, Mila, who was I guess specifically more prone to getting sick. She was coming home sick every other week, or I wouldn't say sick, but like runny nose. And
Yeah, kid stuff.
Kid stuff. So you can kind of mention that, and we can go back and thankfully, because I know a lot of schools or a lot of daycares were applying this without a contract base. So normally, if you sign up to bring your kid to daycare, or at least in these parts, you do it for a season, like a school term kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's almost like if you go on vacation, you still have to pay for that week. If your kid's not there, you still have to pay for the week.
I got you.
There's no way around it. So, in the sense, like that was my overall biggest concern. Like I'm not afraid to try things out. Like don't get me wrong, if it's controlled 5 kids, cool, that sounds good. This, that, and third is in place. But as soon as I see my kid again falling into that habit of getting sick again, I don't want to get stuck paying for something because what I already speculated is actually happening now.
Yeah.
Like, and it's nothing against them, but if you say you're going to wipe everything down, do all this, keep the kids apart, then my kids should not. Like,
Because
it can happen, yes, but
okay, yeah.
but
but it should
first
be
time we'll be like, okay, we'll watch it obviously because we want to make sure it's not anything extreme. But then after that, like if it happens another 2 weeks down the line, we're like, nope.
That's it. We're done.
We'll see you in 2021. Thank you for all that you've done.
It's just because, like, look, honestly, I worked on this girl's car or whatever, and she's a teacher, 3rd grade teacher. So she, like, we got to talking about it, and actually I put it onto the podcast now. So hey. So she tells me, she's like, look, I don't know what to do because, like, as a teacher, like, and she said it the best way. She's like, look, you can't get adults, grown-ups, grown people to go to a store and wear a mask for a few minutes for food shopping, to go to a restaurant and like wear it, or go out and like wear a mask if you can't stay away from other people. She's like, you're expecting 3rd graders to do something that a grown-up can't do? And I was like, look, me personally, I get the whole concept of it. Like, you wear the mask. It's not really for you. It's for everyone else. You don't want to, catch it and bring it home. Like, whatever. I mean, granted, look, the mask is annoying. It rubs my ears, whatever. But again, if I can wear a mask at my job, and now I'm working 10-hour shifts, so if I can wear the mask for 10 hours and only take it off to eat when I'm by myself, then I really don't understand the big deal about going to your local BJ's, Costco,
for
whatever,
a couple minutes, an hour.
for a few minutes, maybe an hour max, and wearing a mask. Like, dude, like, it's not like they're asking you for something like so like out of this world. They're not asking you to cut off a finger before you go in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a consideration. I do find it hard. Like even for me, like I'll do my physical therapy, and I guess it's a little bit of a rougher situation because in my physical therapy, I'm actually working out and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's a
that.
different story.
But even then, like I can't. After a while, it's just annoying. So I get the one half, but again, if I go to Walmart, my mask is on, like,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the consideration of my health as well
As well as
as
everybody
anybody
else.
else.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can see it, but then again, for small pockets, like I don't know how you do it for 10 hours straight. Sorry.
Well, I take it off, but like again, like I take it off. Like if I'm gonna drink water, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm having my breakfast or whatever, or like my lunch. But like I make sure that no one else is around me.
Okay.
Because like I don't want to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And there, look, I don't care what you say. Like anywhere you go, you're gonna see the differences in people. So like some people in my job, they don't care about wearing a mask. They don't like they'll talk to you without a mask or whatever. And like I personally hate it because I'm like, yo, like go that way with it, like stop, chill. But I get it. Like you can't force people to do something. They have to want to do it.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah, and I mean it's also another thing because again the data and what's around has been so inconsistent. So people are like,
Is a mask really gonna help?
yeah, is a mask really? So that's again go back to episode 1. It starts at the top. When the top doesn't know what's going on, you can't expect people to follow suit because
exactly.
you haven't given me enough information to make a decision,
Yeah.
to make it worth me going out my way to make sure because you guys aren't even sure.
Exactly.
So
And they're not even like
now they're talking about like I think like we're talking face to face right now. I'm protected, so I think we let off like thousands and thousands of like air droplets. I think I've seen one time. Yeah, so like it takes like 30,000 or 3,000, and I only let off like 3 at a time, and
like the
all
math
that
doesn't
stuff.
support it. I get it, but again, like look, and there's the same conversation that I had with Kathy, right? Because her parents were like, oh, going back to work, wearing a mask, whatever. I'm like, look, the way that I look at it, if I'm wearing the mask and it helps, great. If not, then I mean, what's the biggest inconvenience about wearing a mask? It blocks your ears a little bit.
Aside from that, because I looked at the longevity of wearing masks. When I thought about it, oddly enough, I used to wear the training mask.
Okay.
Which is a thing. I know some Marshawn Lynch, like he's a big advocate of it.
Yeah.
It's a thing that restricts your breathing when you work out, so that way when you don't have it on, you can
breathe better.
You breathe stronger, and your lungs are
it's
are
like
way
a
better.
Conditioning person.
Yeah, it's a conditioning thing. So essentially, it's not as extreme, obviously, but it's the same thing. It's minimizing airflow, and then when you're breathing back out, same thing with the training mask. You're breathing back in what you breathed out, in a sense.
Yeah.
So I know there's a health disbenefit or disadvantage because it's not healthy to breathe in your own carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
So I think that there's been proven cases where that leads to anxiety, which I understand because sometimes I have it on. I'm like, okay, enough. Like, get this thing off.
After a while, but like again, like they're not asking, like they're not saying like, oh, wear a mask 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Wear a mask in your house. Wear a mask. Like no, they're like, listen, if you're gonna go out and you can stay away from people, you don't have to put on a mask.
Oh, yeah,
but if you're going into a restaurant, if you're going in food shopping, if you're going somewhere where you can't socially distance or keep away from people, then that's when you should put on the mask. Which again, like that's where I'm like, this is actually worth it. Like because look, again, what's a minor inconvenience? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, Kathy's family, they've experienced loss. Emilio and his family in Florida, they lost someone. So like hearing those stories and it like kind of like touching home, I'm like, yo, you know what, man? Like again, what's the big deal? If it works, great. If not, then it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
where
what's
it's like,
the harm?
Oh my God, I can't do this. Like,
okay. I'm not against masks. I have like plenty of masks. I have masks in my car. I have masks in my trunk. That's also like where it's like now you can't leave home without having a mask.
I went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and I open the door and I'm like, I forgot the mask. Turn it on, I gotta go back to the car. Like
keys, mask, wallet. Like this is insane. I leave in my car because again, sometimes I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And I thank God I have like those blue medical masks, whatever they're called, the basic ones.
Yeah.
Because like I can't tell you how many times I forgot this because maybe I haven't been outside for a while and I just let me go, and then I'm like,
I forgot about that.
I can't go in. And then, thank God I have those masks in my car because
if not,
if not, I'd have to drive. My day's over. I said I'm going back home and I'm not coming back out.
That's it.
But even like in restaurants, so like it's a real, it's a mind play because again, like restaurants, like I live right down the block from Roomba.
Yeah.
And we've been there several times. And like, so when you get there, it's outside seating.
Oh yeah, they're still not. Excuse me, they're still not doing.
They can't do anything inside. No restaurant.
No restaurant.
At all.
Okay.
Not that I've seen. But so it's outside seating, and they have that big parking lot looking area. To have plenty of seating. I don't think they're really missing out. I think if anything, they're just missing out on the fact that they could be sitting people inside too.
Yeah.
But I think capacity wise, there's tables here. I would say there's tables by this pool table, and people have their mask off. Like I see some people with their mask on still, but I'm not gonna have a mask on when I eat. This is does not have to be like this. Take a sip. There, put it up and down.
I feel like if you're in a restaurant, like it's
What's the?
if you physically can't keep a mask on while you eat. Number one. Number two, then how are you gonna stay away and socially distance? Like that's what's a restaurant. You know what I mean? But again, then you're limiting capacity. So
Yeah, and there's distance, but you're outside, and again, and that's just me overthinking and just me having a counter argument to have a counter argument. Not to just be like, okay, well, I'll just do this. 'Cause I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, we're outside. People are speaking, laughing, sneezing, coughing, and it's in the air. The air circulates.
so
There's like no way, whether I'm over here and you're over there, that droplets, pathogens, whatever you want to call it, don't circulate and somebody's grabbing hold to it.
yeah.
So again, not that I won't follow precautions, but it just makes you think like, okay, well, again, what is this thing,
Exactly.
and how is it exactly affecting people, and how are people contracting it?
I always feel like we don't know enough about it, and everything. Again, like you said earlier, everything always changes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first they were like, "Oh, don't wear a mask." Now they're like, "Oh, yeah, wear a mask." Then they're like, "Oh, well, masks only stop it for a percentage of it," or this isn't really. Like,
Don't touch things. Wash
and then they're like, "Oh, well, this doesn't really stick to surfaces." And I'm like I get it. Like they don't know anything about it, and they're learning on the fly, so they're relaying the information, I guess, as best they can.
But it's I
hypothetically.
don't accept it as a human being.
Well, I mean, it's not it's not something I would like to hear, but
I just
you
don't.
know what I mean.
So we'll say March was the day everything went down. Like you don't know anything by
For me,
now,
it was
July.
March 17th, and I'll never forget that day.
Yes, it's a good 3 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Three.
July, yeah. We're in August now, officially. So we got 4 whole months, and apparently there's been donations for COVID, research and all that stuff.
Blah, blah,
So
blah.
millions and billions of dollars. I'm sure they've had plenty of people they can use to kind of at least figure it
Yeah.
out while they were treating them. And we know nothing.
I mean, skeptical, of course, but still, I would say.
But you have to know the minimum. Like this is not. I'm not asking for a cure. Like something like it's not HIV in a sense where, okay, at least HIV we know how
How it
sexually
gets,
transmitted,
yeah.
maybe through blood. Cool. There's no cure, so to speak.
Oh no, they
Well,
are.
yeah. I don't want I
Yeah.
don't want Illuminati trying to kill me. There's no cure, so to speak. But we know how to get it.
Yeah.
We know how it's contracted.
Cool.
I'll keep it at that. It's okay, government. At least I know what not to do.
Yeah.
So if I don't get it, then I don't have to worry about the cure. So, but now, again, we're fast forwarding to COVID-19, you don't even know, or you're not, and I don't want to sound demeaning, but I expect more from people who hold a profession. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a mechanic, I expect you to fix a car and fix a car right and know how to fix a car. Like, that's just, so if you're a scientist, you get paid to science
Yeah.
and research. And I'm sure there's many of you on one project. You can't create variables or didn't create variables enough already so that you at least know how it's contracted.
Well, you can isolate it, kind of. Yeah. Look again. Look, I'm not sold on what they're doing, but if I got to think about it, where it's like, yo, you know what? They're saying that it's airborne. They're saying that that's how you get it. It affects your lungs. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll wear the mask. Like for me.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like you have a valid argument. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
No,
it's
we can
wrong,
act. It's not me talking against precautions. It's just me
yeah.
still trying to ask questions about what this is.
Yeah.
I'll wear my mask. I'll go to Walmart. I'll do this. I'll do that. That's fine to my own convenience. Again, if I don't want to wear a mask, then I'll stay in my butt
Yeah. Home.
on my couch at home. That's
it.
fine with me too. But again, not having answers or not having solid answers
Yeah.
is what bothers me more.
Yeah. I mean, look again. Like you can argue it both ways, and I totally respect that because it's true. You know what I mean? Like, how is it that we're 4 months into it and still can't give us 100% answer on it? You know what I mean? Again, not asking for a cure, not asking for any of that, but like give us something other than as we know right now, this is how it transmits. As we know right now, this is what it does. It doesn't stick to surfaces. It does. It doesn't. It does. It doesn't. Like, you guys got to do better with that. That's something that's a valid argument. They should be doing better with that. But I mean, look again. The mask to me is not really a big deal.
Yeah, it's not game breaking.
Like some people like make it sound like, oh, they're trying to make us
take my
communists,
rights.
whatever. Like, come on, man.
But again, I also, again, I get the argument. Again, I always try to see things from both sides, and it's the same thing. I mean, I think about it in relationship terms, where you let the little thing slide for a little bit, and slide for a little bit, and slide for a little bit, and all of a sudden this thing becomes this thing, and then this thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand the gradual concern of, you know, the government telling us what to do, and then that gradually becoming something bigger. I just think right now it ain't it.
Nah, it's definitely not.
Like, okay, you got to put a mask on. Okay, when they start saying like, you know,
You're not
bigger
allowed
things,
outside your
like,
house.
you know,
That's a
which
different story.
we almost got to, which I assume we would
Yeah.
have gotten to kind of just help eradicate this 100%.
But let's hit on that for a second. If we would have done that,
I think we would be in a better position.
absolutely. I think that the virus they say lasts 30 days in your system undetected,
Yeah,
and
do a
then
full month.
do a full month. Let's just say you do a month and a half, 2 months. Keep everybody home,
Yeah,
and the only time you're allowed to leave is essentially for like essentials, like food.
yeah. And we literally could have done that. We could have made it a 2-month plan. And here's my, if I work for the government, agenda breakdown. So, things went down March. Everybody was going crazy. We'll just say April. We're just going crazy. We didn't have a plan, or we got hired to make the plan. Cool. We'll scratch out April. So for May and June, there should have been a plan put in place for a full 30-day lockdown, and in that you would schedule people, whether you do it by last name, first name, social security number, etc.,
Yeah.
to allow them to go to said supermarkets,
Get their stuff.
get their stuff. That way, you know, inventory and stuff. Again, we'll say we're not completely doing anything, but as soon as you go to the supermarket and you come back out, you are officially liable to be fined. You got your stuff.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you should go outside. So we'll go through the whole alphabet once a day for that 30 days, and you wouldn't even need 30 days because it's 27 letters in the alphabet.
Yeah.
So you get 3 days of layover. So by the 27th, everybody should have gone to the supermarkets, grab what they need. Again, put the limits. Make sure everybody legally, if you had family, bring your tax ID, bring whatever you need to prove that what you were buying is essential to what you needed.
Yeah.
By the 27th, April, was it by May 27th, right? Because
Like
April's still
right around the
crazy.
corner, yeah.
By May 27th, everybody's officially in their homes and cannot leave. You have everything you need. Everybody's got
That's
tissue. We good. So 3-day layover. We go into June. Sorry, no summer. Whatever. You want to get sick? So June, everybody's in their home. 30 days. This virus is apparently dead by
Within 30
June 30th.
days.
My birthday's in June, so don't even say, "Oh, you don't know." My birthday's in June, and I'm still would be willing to stay inside to make sure I don't get sick. So, just in case you think I don't care about the summer. So then, by the end of June, everything should be good.
Yeah.
Then we can celebrate 4th of July, the holiday that doesn't make sense, but we can celebrate it without worried about, you know, COVID-19.
Yeah.
Plan over.
And that's it.
But again, I don't know the intricacies of what you have to do to get this plan rolling. Again, I understand, but by now there should be something.
Government is different with that, I guess, in that sense. But again, like still, it's still a plan. Like, what plan did they give us?
We got the
New Jersey can stay home. New York can stay home.
half closed, but
Florida stay
Alabama,
Alabama, Arkansas.
Alabama, no.
You guys can do whatever
Florida
you want.
have spring break.
Yeah. No, please.
Just have a whole summer,
No, don't worry about it.
and then come back to New York.
No, please, continue with Mardi Gras. Don't worry about it. It's okay. No, we're fine.
So,
That's why we're where we are right now.
yeah, it's a hard decision. Don't get me wrong, but I would prefer hard decisions that were in the best interest of the people versus you being inconsistent because you don't want to
Lose money.
either lose money or because of losing money.
Whatever. Yeah, you're still gonna lose money one way or the other. It doesn't make a difference. Like, if you're thinking about, oh, you know what, if we shut down for a month or 2 months, like, we're gonna hurt the economy too much. It's like, what's going to happen if you reopen these schools? If parents get sick because of their kids, and
Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing.
like you're basically just putting a band-aid on a gunshot,
Yeah.
and that's not, you're not gonna stop anything with it.
You're not.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, oh look, I put a band-aid. There's a bullet hole there. Like,
Yeah, just put the fire, cauterize it,
exactly. Get it over with.
and get over it. It's gonna be painful. Yeah, but you are gonna heal way quicker than just I'm gonna keep putting band-aids on it and
hope to God that it stops bleeding.
yeah, it stops bleeding. No, I think you're gonna need a couple of stitches, maybe, surgery. But
well,
it is what it is. Again,
yeah.
so that's why I keep on my consent. I have these questions, and I don't mind taking the precautions, but I have these questions. I'm never one to just do things, whether it's in my faith, whether it's in my life, whether it's in anything I kind of hear or receive. Social media, I always think of both sides very intensely.
You have to. Well, you should, rather. But again, like,
I would say you should, yes.
Should, yeah.
But you have to, as a human being. If not, you're going to drive yourself crazy, and two, this is where you're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not questioning both sides, again, you have to, relationships, whatever it is, you always have to play both sides and put yourself on both sides.
Yep.
Unbiasedly. Because that's the hardest thing to do.
The other part that's hard. Because a lot of people like to put themselves on the other side, but
yeah, but it's they're still with the mindset that they're still on the other side.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and especially I've learned this mostly from relationships. From like again, I've been on that side before where I am trying to understand, but again, I can't understand you if I'm still thinking like me.
Like me.
So you have to flip the script and okay, if I was this, that, and then I was in the situation.
Then yeah, I'd probably feel the same way that they feel.
I can understand. I have more empathy towards it.
Yeah.
So it's a have to.
It is a have to. I'm just saying a lot of people don't. So that's what I'm saying. You should.
Yeah, that's why I say you have to. Because saying you should still kind of like, well, I don't have to. So,
there's a lot of people like that. Like look, even with this whole situation, right? So like a lot of people are like, oh, you know what? I don't have to wear a mask. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do that. So to that point, I'll give you that. Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's my right to not have to wear a mask. It's my right to do whatever I want to do, whatever, right? But I read this somewhere. If you have the right, you have those rights. They're in the Constitution. They are your rights. But if you have a right, and that is as a country, then you are socially obligated. Like you have a social responsibility to everyone around you. Like it's not just you. Like you can't be like, oh, I don't want to wear a mask because I don't want to wear a mask. But it's like, yeah, you don't have to wear the mask, but you should, because you should be concerned about the person next to you, your grandmother, your grandparents. Like you should be worried about everyone around you. That's a shared responsibility. That's not something that is just your freedom is only up to you. Like you are not a sovereign, country yourself. Yeah. No, this is an entire country, and as an entire country, as a shared responsibility, you owe it to everyone else to do the right thing. Essentially speaking, like. It's not going to kill you to wear a mask, and if it is, you shouldn't be going outside. Like, let's just end that debate. Like, you know what I mean?
You have bigger problems.
Like, if you're telling me that you can't wear a mask because you can't breathe, then why are you even going outside? Like, taking the chance. Like, this is something that attacks your
respiratory system.
Your respiratory system. Like, why would you go outside and risk it then? Like, if anything, you're proving the point. You should be the one that stays home, and everyone else can go out for you. You know what I mean? If you're looking at it like that, and I get it, like some people can't wear masks. You know what I mean? It gives them that difficulty to breathe, anxiety, all that. A lot of people are claustrophobic, but again, if you feel those symptoms, then you are the person that needs to stay home. Like
and that's hard to say too. But to your point, this is where I think we mentioned it during the whole, Black Lives Matter movement and the marches. It's a point where this whole land of the free, home of the brave is people are taking that for themselves.
Exactly.
And it's become a selfish agenda versus, okay, well, this is land of the free completely. Like, not just your land, not just your rights, but my right. So, if there's the same people who are like, I don't have to, or the same people who are also saying like, well, these laws do this. Like, well, where do you think these laws came from? Like, it's almost. I'm pretty sure now. I don't know if they pass it as a law, but I know it's definitely something enforced. Like you go to Walmart, you see the sign there.
The executive order.
Executive order. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. You have to
so these same laws that you feel like you're obligated to are also those same laws that
they're enforcing.
That they're telling you to enforce. So there's Like, what's it gonna be?
You can't play both sides of the fence.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people just, again, it's a me thing, and it's become a selfish agenda versus, okay, this is what I have to do to make America great again. You know?
Oh, I hate that saying. I hate.
I love using it because I hate it.
I hate that saying so much.
That's why I love using it so much because 2020 has been the year the complete opposite. It's just I think it has exposed so many faults in our country and
in our system,
in our system and in our people.
Absolutely.
Like a full 360. Like, you guys aren't who you thought you were.
Yeah, and it's like it's nice to say it, but you should hold yourself to those ideals as well. Then you know what I mean?
You should.
Like, you can't just say, "Oh, we're the greatest country in the world," and then like act like a bunch of
but I won't just wear a mask to make sure my people are
exactly
safe.
like. Look, and I hate to use this as an example. Right? So, like, if you look overseas, right, everyone is clowning on America because it's like, oh my god, dude, we're like, and I hate to say this, but like we're like the laughing stock of the world. Like, if you think about it, like all these countries that went through this whole COVID thing, it's like they handled it. They, everything worked out because everyone followed the rules. But then here, it's like you have people that are like, oh no, I don't want to wear a mask. I shouldn't have to wear a mask.
But that's the price of freedom.
But it's like, yes, those freedoms are yours, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they also, it's a shared responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just your freedom independently. Like, no, it's like everyone's freedom. Like, you have to worry. You should worry about your neighbor. You should worry about your kids, your teachers, the firefighters. Everyone. You should worry about those people.
Should.
Because the problem is like, if you look at the states right now that are like spiking, right? Like Florida, California, whatever. If you look at those states, and the main problem isn't, again, the same thing that was happening here. The main problem isn't that people are getting sick. You know what I mean? Because, again, people get sick, they go to the hospital, they get better. The problem is that the hospitals are becoming overrun. So then what's going to happen to the people that are sick that need help? That when they go to the hospital, they're
going to be out still, or
you're going to have, and not to speak poorly about them, but like you're going to have like Italy situation where like you have videos of people in hospital beds on the side in the hallways without, proper ventilation, without proper monitoring, because the systems become so overwhelmed that you can't match the staff to the people that are coming in sick, which is the main problem. That's the same issue we had here. And the reason that they jumped on top of it and they came down with all those like strict laws and enforcing all the executive orders was because of that. It's like, we have to get the hospitalization rate down so that if people do get sick, we can actually help them in the hospital.
Yeah.
If not, if it becomes overrun, then God help us, man.
It's because again, all those other countries I always look at the other side. I always look at the counter argument of what they're about to tell you, Ralph. Well, those countries aren't as free as us. That's why. Yes, I get it. And to me, it's only comparable to, my faith and in God giving us free will.
Yeah.
That's, I think, as someone with faith, that's the ultimate trust game that someone of a higher power has given you.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's up to you to use that to your best ability.
Yes.
But not everybody does, and that's the point.
That's the problem. You're right. That is the problem.
Yeah, so, we're in a heaven and hell situation in America where people are just like, okay, either, my free will is for me and I'm going to do what I want because I was given it, and which is not the mentality you should have, or, you're going to use that free will and consider that to be everyone's
If everyone here worked together to get rid of this virus, we'd be over this.
We wouldn't have a lot of things if this country worked together.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple. What do I know? I'm just a dad.
I don't know, man. Like for me, that's always a tough topic, and I hate talking about it because it's like it boils my blood. Because I know people like that. I won't say that I have friends like that, but I know people that are like that, where it's like, oh, but I'm not gonna get sick. And it's like, but you'll recover if you do, God forbid, get sick.
Yeah,
you'll recover. What happens if someone doesn't recover? What happens if someone just got through cancer, just has respiratory issues, has any type of issues, underlying issues? Yes. It's like you shouldn't care so much for yourself. Fine, okay, great, because you'll get over it. You'll
Yeah,
whatever.
you'll be okay.
You'll be okay. But you should worry about the other people that you might get sick. Which is, that's the bottom line. Like, you got to care about everybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, fine. I know that it might be an inconvenience. Again, it is just, to me, that's the way that I describe it. It's an inconvenience. I don't like wearing the mask. I don't. It bothers my ears up here. I have little cuts or whatever. It does. Fine. But again, it's something so minor where it's like, all right, look, man, if this helps, great.
Yeah.
If not, it's not really the biggest thing in the world. And I think that everybody should like start looking at things like that. Like,
You should. I mean, so I'm trying to instill in my children, if there's something that comes 360
yeah,
with all of it, just having empathy, understanding both sides. My girls fully know the situation by its name now, the coronavirus. But, it's just, it's, as a parent, it's just really hard to teach my kids to trust that other people have their best benefit. Yeah. And, again, even them going back to school, I'm having a hard time. Do I think that they want to harm my kids? No, because if they do, that's their money loss. But
exactly.
are they going to take the same precautions I would for my child as they would? Like, if Maddie was at my house, my eye is on him as much as it was, my girls. And that's just, me being responsible, me being empathetic. Like, okay, God forbid Maddie sticks his hand in an outlet in my house. Like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
That's something I carry with me. Again, anybody else's kids, I don't care if I don't know the kid. Like, I just have an empathetic agenda towards everything I do.
Absolutely.
I don't know if everybody else does.
and that's,
and I can't gauge it either. Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, for me, like, that's why I'm like, yo, the school, man. At least in that situation, it's like, okay, so fine, they're taking steps to minimize it. Where it's like, oh, you know what? We're only doing 5 kids per class or whatever. With your 2 daughters. So your 2 daughters are 2 out of 5. So almost 50% is made up of your kids.
Hey guys. Dunstan take over.
So it's like, okay, fine. Like, you know what? That's more manageable, because if you're going to tell me that there's going to be 20 kids in that daycare, then I'm like, no, never mind. Because now you're adding too many variables into that equation, like, that I'm not going to feel comfortable with. 5, I could feel comfortable with.
And I don't think there was 20. And another thing I think about is that, okay, you guys are taking all these precautions now. Like, mind you, my daughter has already been sick, again, every other week. So and we already donated, cleaning supplies and stuff. Like, it's like the hand washing thing. Like, you weren't washing your hands before?
like when the hand sanitizer went out, I'm like, so wait, hold on.
I brought 3 tubs of the wipes, and I noticed like I see them every time I walk in. I see so then now it's and again, in my situation or in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, daycare, kids, knowing that the fairy tales and the myths that you heard about kids getting sick or happen to get sick more often when they're in school, I would be all over. And again, I know it's work. Carrying all these variables, but still, I would take that to heart. If I see a kid with stuffy nose, yes, it's going to cost me money, but if the rest of my kids get sick because of this one kid with stuffy nose, no, you call that parent back, but I know for a fact that, the specific daycare doesn't do it. They said they're going to do it now because we mentioned it on the call we had, because if I catch some kid with a stuffy nose,
it's like, hey, what's going on, guys?
I told you guys I would beat up the 5-year-old. I'm going to beat up the daycare coordinator. I'm not playing any games right now. Because don't say something because you're saying it just to follow things and you don't actively do it. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, you shouldn't just say it just to pass the moment or give you that reassurance. Or,
the reassurance. I don't like being.
I don't need that.
I don't like wordplay.
No,
I need to see it.
Yeah, let's come up with a game plan, stick to it, and this is what I need, and what can you guys do?
And that's why I did decide. Okay, I'm gonna at some point you're gonna have to give somebody the benefit of the doubt and see what happens, which I'm willing to do.
And it's not like your girls are quiet or keep secrets from you. No, they'll tell you oh yeah, is anybody sick in the class? Oh yeah, so and so was sick. Oh really?
Yeah, I think I'm that's something I'm definitely going to talk to them about. If you see kids with mocos or like runny nose.
Like stay away.
One, stay away from them, and two, make sure you tell me. For that simple fact. But yeah, it's like again, like we to think I would have to. Hey, if you see kid with stuff, like
When on earth did you ever think that was going to be?
when did that have to be a conversation? When did I have to like? Why?
Yeah.
And I've seen it so many places where kids have their kids out like just dripping with mucus everywhere, and then like letting kids run around, wipe their nose, touching
everything.
Let me do that to you as an adult, and now I'm just curious about how you feel about it.
Because if you don't care, then
if you don't care, then I don't.
We have bigger issues.
Anytime I see you, I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, that's.
And look again, like I like, what's that? Oh.
And on that note.
No, but like again, when I was talking to that teacher, she told me, she's like, look, third graders, like, what do you do with third graders? What do you do? Tell them to wear their mask. Oh, okay, they're gonna want to talk to their friend about the weekend, or oh, can I borrow your book, or oh, can I borrow your pencil, or oh, can I get this? It's like kids don't have that. They don't grasp the whole concept of what's going on right now.
Yeah, they don't understand science.
You can explain it to them, fine. But to them, it's just like, oh, they're just being parents. Like, oh, no, they don't know. Mm-hmm. Or, oh, it's okay. Like, this is fine. Whatever. And it's like, it's true. Then what? Because if you put that many kids together all the time, and one of them is sick, there was a meme that I saw the other day, and it was like, oh, you're going to send your kid to school with a Paw Patrol mask. He's going to come back home with a Spider-Man one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because they're going to exchange.
Yeah, they're going to do kid stuff.
Exactly. And you can't control it.
You can. It just takes more work.
But they don't even have enough teachers as it is right now in those classrooms.
Exactly.
I mean, look, I'm speaking from when I was in school, and this is years ago. When I was in school, it was one teacher. And what, 25, 30 kids sometimes?
Yeah, so definitely at least 20.
So...
Yeah, it's hard to get
how you keep your eye on 20 kids? And I'm very observant. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't
do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what guarantee? Like that's the problem with me.
You can't guarantee the precautions that you say you're going to give me.
No.
Which is not my situation, but
no.
In general.
But now they're saying that kids and parents are going to have to sign waivers when they send their kids back to school. No. If I have to sign a waiver to send my kid to a school,
this is not Tough Mudder.
Like, come on, man. Yeah, like Tough Mudder. I know I have to sign a waiver.
Well, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, like I know what's coming. I know that it's on me. Like I get that. I have to sign a waiver for my kid, so I won't sue you if you get sick in your school.
That's like, come on, very dramatic and extreme, bro. But that's literally you telling me to sign a waiver because you're not going to be responsible if any mass shooting happens in the school.
Oh, that's going to instill a lot of comfort in me.
Yeah, that's. I'm going to be looking like, wait, what?
Like, oh, okay, forget it. No, private school it is. Like,
what is this, a target school or? And again, I understand COVID is hard to, but that's their job.
Yeah, that is their job.
And it's a hard job. Like, this is not knocking them.
No, absolutely not.
You guys had all summer, think of something.
Yeah. You guys had since what? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, they had since March, because March is.
Well, I don't want to say that because
April, when they close schools.
Yeah, I think April they close. Yeah,
so April they close schools, right? Okay, so schools are closed in April. You know what? Let's give them May. Whatever. You telling me since May you couldn't come up with a game plan, knowing that this is still like racing, the numbers are still here, like you couldn't come up with something?
even if you didn't think the numbers would be the same, you had to expect that even on the rollout of people getting comfortable with life, that there still was going to be some form of transition where you still had to be precautious. You have to. If you're planning it, you always plan for, okay, what if this doesn't work?
I mean,
and it's not an easy job. Because again, we're gonna talk about the differences between forcing kids to go inside the school to get their learning, which I agree with. Like, I was in school, I needed to see things versus doing this whole.
I'm still that way.
This virtual thing, like.
Yeah.
I know kids are.
I lose my concentration. Yeah. And look, you know what? Having your kids at home is good.
It's like working from home. You need to have.
It's bad.
You need to have a discipline.
Yeah.
That a lot of kids,
they're kids.
Unless they're really tuned that way or have. It clicked earlier than others. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. Look, man, if I'm home, the first thing I'm thinking about is, damn, I wonder if the guys are gonna get on to play.
Yeah, like that PlayStation's looking mighty lonely, right?
Yeah, I could stay up here and I can finish this real quick, and even if it's not right, they're not gonna be able to yell at me. You know what? These guys are gonna get on 11. Don't worry about it. You know what? School's not that important.
Yeah,
Like
put it on mute.
in home is difficult unless you have somebody there. And again, that takes a parent out of work,
Yeah.
which I understand that too. But it's like again, like if you had all this time to plan this out, you couldn't come up with anything.
Again, I don't. It's a question I ask, and I ask it very adamantly but lightly, because
Yeah,
again, we're open to any feedback and what the
absolutely.
rollout of things are. Like, okay, well, in order for this to happen, it takes 3 months to even get plans initiated. Then cool, then,
All right, fine. Yeah,
But as a
got it.
parent, again, that's
Like
not
I'm just looking at it.
communicated.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from outside the box. You know
But
what?
it's never communicated, and that's the problem. If you tell people what it is up front, okay, like Corona happened March, and the government said, like, listen, we're going to need a good 3 months to plan this out.
Yeah,
Am I going to ask why is it 3 months? Yes, but at least I know, so that way when the third month comes around,
it's like yo. So
okay,
what's the
so
other?
then you should have an answer.
Yeah.
But that's what I think people are avoiding, putting themselves in boxes like, oh, I want to say it's going to take us 3 months.
I
So
remember when this whole thing first started or whatever, and they were like, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. That's how they broke it down in increments. And I remember I saw somebody post something, and it was like, they're not telling you that this is going to last till September, August, November, because they don't want you guys to like riot and be pissed off or whatever. But if you look at the trajectory,
yeah,
we're not going to be back till like
this is
September
going to go
till next year.
all year.
Yeah,
And that's
because
it
at
is
the
what
end
it
of
is
this
because you're
year,
gonna
then
have
it's
the
flu
people
season.
who want to do what they want.
Yeah.
No judge zone, but it is what it is.
But again,
you're gonna have people who are semi-precautious. You're gonna have people who are just home all day. And in the end of it, there's still gonna be different variables, different mindsets, a bunch of people just not knowing what's going on, and no chain of command that wants to enforce something that's going to eradicate it. And maybe again, that's because they don't know.
Yeah.
So if they don't know, which again I understand, they don't know, and then they say, okay, everybody lock up for 30 days. They didn't know, and then this thing is still lingering around because it wasn't just 30 days. It's
Yeah,
60 days, and then people start getting sick again. Oh,
That would have been. I mean, again, I said this from the beginning. I think they should have did it for like 2 months. Do the lockdown for 2 months. Yeah, it'll crush the economy for 2 months. But what are we losing right now?
yeah, people have already lost their job. People already lost their
How many
money.
people are unemployed? How many people,
And then
struggling to make payments on anything?
yeah, then that's
That's another
some of the
thing.
conversation we'll probably get
Yeah.
into. You shut it down, and then in the end of it, okay, whether people are still working, whether people are not working, because again, some people work from home,
Yeah.
do what they're doing. But in the end of it all, everything would get a huge shock back once everybody gets out.
Absolutely.
Like you take your loss, it's like stocks. You have a loss one day, it might drop dramatically, and then all of a sudden it shoots up out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Same concept where you think people being home for 30 days, 60 days aren't going to go out and buy stuff, go to restaurants.
They have to. They're going to be
Especially if
itchy.
everything froze. Again, this is in consideration that, mortgage payments, rent,
Yeah,
everything was
man.
frozen. Everybody stopped exactly where they were.
Exactly.
We as a company, we as a country just said, hey, spend your last check, get your food in, freeze everything, and we come back and
In 2
press play.
months. Yeah. I think that would have been way better. Infinitely better than what we're doing right now. Like right now, again, it's a Band-Aid on a gunshot. And it's the worst type of thing because they're not doing this like nationally. They're just doing it like,
It's like state by state.
yeah, and that's the worst thing in the world. Because this is how bad it is, right? So New Jersey, New York, we opened up, right?
Mhm.
But like surrounding states are closed. How long does it take you to get to Boston?
Yeah, 30 hours.
Virginia's a 6-hour drive. Florida's 24 hours from here, but fine. But like, you know what I mean? Like, you can make it to other states that are still open or that are closed and make it here.
Well, especially when the airlines are open.
Come on, man. It's
What?
like, dude, you're asking for trouble. The game plan, like, and I get it. Like, this is something that's like, it's out of left. Fine, but still, yeah. At some point or another, you gotta
Again, we're
adjust
the
to it.
greatest country in the world. Handled
Yeah.
it like the greatest country in the world. That's all I'm asking.
Nothing crazy.
We can't talk that smack if we're not backing it up. I mean, that's why people are laughing at us. Not because, okay, we're still not the greatest country, with the best freedoms or whatever our argument is, but we're surely not playing like it. You can't say you're the best basketball player in the world and you're sitting on the bench with 0 points.
Absolutely. 'Cause-
That's where we are right now. We got a rebound, and that's about it. And the only rebound was getting something from, that happen to come from another country, but we can't score.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, sunlight didn't help on our negativity. So, but again, we hope this conversation, while maybe it seemed to gotten lost. Again, it's kind of coming full circle where everybody's like talking about Corona 2.0.
Yeah, the second wave.
So yeah, keep that in mind when you guys have your kids going back to school. Stay precautious, stay safe, wear the mask, keep your circle closed. Still, I would say.
Absolutely, I
Again,
would recommend.
Just my family, Ralph, maybe some of our other friends, but again, very small footprint to do things in comparison to what I would say we would do going out.
Going out, normally.
Yeah.
What, and the birthdays in the summer?
The birth, yeah.
Come on.
So, stay safe, stay healthy. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, actually, I would love to hear from the teachers. Teachers that we know that follow.
That's got to be tough. I wouldn't want to be a teacher.
For the record, you guys can come on and be totally anonymous. Like, no names,
I gotta
no
get that
nothing.
site. I'm gonna get it before we post this.
Yeah, please. But we really I really want to hear like the teachers' perspectives, because I know a few teachers, and I've seen where they're going with this. They don't support this at all.
They don't support it, but I mean that they themselves are at the biggest risk because
exactly.
In order to prevent, you kind of have to be in the middle of the war, kind of thing.
They're not soldiers. Is my outlook on that.
Hey, they're not getting paid enough either.
Definitely
from what I recently looked up.
But again, look, please, everybody, stay safe. Stay vigilant. Don't let up on it. This is not something that's gone. Whether you feel that it is, or you haven't been personally impacted by it.
Be precautious. It doesn't hurt you to be precautious. It doesn't hurt.
And again, if it's an inconvenience, I can appreciate that. I understand it. But again, if it's just an inconvenience, it's not like somebody's twisting you on a torture rack or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll pass, and hopefully
sooner or later, see everybody on the other side of it.
Let's go NFL. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Take it easy, guys.